you're actually getting quite deep into kind of, well, who's your target market? Are you getting the right revenues from them? Are you attracting the right ones? And that's all, it's almost a marketing conversation. It's not just a numbers conversation.
Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, everything we do relative to the
Yeah,
advisory services isn't done in a
yeah,
vacuum, and we're not just thinking about the numbers. We have to dig into what make up the numbers and what drives the different things within the financial statements. And that can encompass marketing, it can encompass staffing, it can encompass, lots of different things. So we have to have some deep conversations with our clients about the financials. And part of what we do is with our advisory services is that we review the numbers with the client. We, on a semi-annual basis, we want to kind of go over the numbers with them and say, okay, what's happening here? Why is this variance this? Did you expect it, or is this something that's going
yeah.
to happen again? And what do we need to do to plan for it? So there's a lot of information you can get by looking at the numbers, and all too often business owners don't look at their financials, or they don't really know how to look at their financials. And some of what we do is we teach them how to look at their financials. What are the things you focus on, when you're looking at an income statement, for example? We like to do comparisons to prior years or comparison to a budget, what you thought the numbers might be. And did they hit, did they hit the numbers? Are you higher or lower? And, if so, why? So there's a lot that you can learn about digging into the numbers. So a really important thing that we try to convey to our business owners is you got to look at it. You got to know the numbers. You also have to have good numbers. All too often, people try to do their own bookkeeping, and many of them aren't very good at it. I'll be honest with you. And so one of the things that we do is we can help them get better at it by training, or we can do it for them so they have good numbers, because you have to make good decisions using good information. And if you have bad information, you probably won't make good decisions. So I think that's very important. And a lot of what we do is get our clients to think about the numbers and manage those numbers, and really kind of get a good understanding of what they mean. They don't have to be a financial, person. They don't have to
Yeah.
be an accountant, but they should have a good feeling for what the numbers tell them.
Absolutely. And I think also you touched on the fact that you bring a broader business awareness, about what's happening with technology as well, bigger changes in the marketplace. Are they in a transactional business that can get automated and kind of get pushed to the side by some newcomer? But there's also the part you talked on there about being an advisor, and actually having an advisor by your side. Because again, you got, I mean, CPAs generally, a lot of them are highly transactional, and finding someone who's actually
Yep.
interested in the business, obviously passionate, and this is our conversations, this is you, what you do for yourself anyways. This isn't like you're doing it for your clients and doing something different for yourself. This is what you do for yourself. So that must come across, it must be a highly, you're having a peer-to-peer conversation, you're not having um, you're both in the same situations.
Yeah, so I have a passion for working with small
Yeah.
businesses. In the past, I've worked in the capacity of a commercial banker, and I used to help small businesses get financing and help build their business. And I really enjoyed that. And when I had the opportunity to become a CPA firm owner, I wanted to do more of that. By the nature of our profession, CPA work or tax work is transactional. It doesn't have to be, right? Information that you can glean from looking at the information and interpreting the information. And so when I had the opportunity to start the advisory practice, I wanted to be
Yeah.
that person that can help a business owner navigate through this stuff, help them get financing, help them get a better outcome at the end of the day, because I just love that and I'm energized by
Yeah.
working with business owners. So we as a firm have a passion for that, and I have multiple advisors within the firm that are very good at working with business owners, and sometimes we have to have tough conversations with them, right? It's not
Yeah.
always like rosy, and it's not always
Yeah.
something
Yeah. Yeah.
that's great. Sometimes we have to say, hey, listen, what you're doing is not working. You got to rethink it. And we're here to help you. We can help you think it through from a different angle. And so that's what I really love about what we do, because we have the opportunity to affect the outcome and teach people how to be better business owners. And we've got results. We've got several clients that we've worked with that have had far better outcomes than they ever would have had they not worked with us. And I've had them call me and tell me, at the end of the day, when they've sold their business, it's like, man, we are so happy we did this with you several years ago, because we got way more than we thought we were going to get with their business. we're happier, and everything worked out great. Thank you for doing that. And to me, that's just a great conversation to have. I love when our business owners have that outcome and that we can help them and be a part of it.
No, phenomenal. Just to go back on one thing you said, like CPA firm, sorry, business owners actually doing their own finances and their own bookkeeping.
Yes.
I'm a big believer generally in having like we've got all got a couple of super skills, and that that's it, and everything else you've got to realize that there's someone who's got that super skill that you need to plug into your business.
Yep.
If you find, just going back to the advisory part, if you're having if you see someone who's like stuck in the weeds, doing their own bookkeeping, is that someone who's got the similar kind of issues in the other parts of the business, and they need that kind of advice to be more of a CEO rather than doing everything themselves? Is it kind of a trait that almost like an indicator that there's actually something they need help with to let go a little bit of and bring in specialists?
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, it just could be that they're not
Yeah,
wired to be able to do that, you know? And so I think it's important that a new business owner should kind of be involved in some of the accounting and bookkeeping initially, just so they have a good idea of how things flow. But at some point, they might need to focus more on managing their business and start to hire people out to do different things. As a business owner, I don't know how to do everything. I hire people to do
yeah,
marketing, and I hire people to do other things. You can't necessarily be a jack of all trades and do every one of
yeah.
them great. So having good information again is the important thing. And if you can't do it yourself, then go find somebody that can do it. And thankfully we have a team of people that are very good at it, and we can provide that level of service if somebody wants us to take it over, or
Yeah.
if they want to do it and have us oversee it and look at it, we can do that too. Or if they want us to do it all, we can do that as well. Anywhere in between, we can help. But the most critical piece is having good numbers and good information, so that when you need to make decisions on the numbers, you have it and you can make good decisions.
Okay, and finally, if I'm a business owner and I'm kind of doing okay, and I'm like, I feel like, I'm not kind of like worried. I'm not at the end, I'm not like stressing, but I feel it's something. What are the kind of red flags I should be looking for that I need advisory help. I need sort of support. What's kind of the what are the main thing? Obviously, I'm guessing quality, confidence in the data is one of them, but generally, what are the things I need to think? Well, this is happening. I need help.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of businesses that go on what we call autopilot. They're cruising
Yeah,
right along, business is going, they're making profit. Every day of every business owner's life or journey, there are threats to that business. Threats from increasing prices or labor shortages or competition or all that. So I think every business owner needs to be thinking about getting somebody as an advisor, because you may be in a business that has been going on autopilot for a while and something changes and you just don't know how to deal with it. Well,
yeah,
again, we've got experience with a lot of different businesses, and we see things and can come at it from a better, different perspective, maybe not necessarily better, but certainly a different perspective, and say, okay, have you thought about this? We see this, maybe this particular person has dealt with this, and here's how they overcame it.
yeah.
So, I think every business owner needs a good advisor, especially when it comes to tax planning and even efficiency and profit planning. And that's where we can be a big help, because that's what we study every day. It's my job, it's my firm's job to know and understand all the ways that you can be tax efficient. And, the tax code's not an easy read. It's not an exciting read, but, it's our job to learn it and know it and understand how we can make it work for you. By default, the odds are stacked against you. It's not set up for you to pay the least amount of taxes. It's set up for you to pay the most amount. Our job is to help you use what's available to you and tip the scales back in your favor. And so having a good advisor is critical for you to not be inefficient with your taxes and inefficient with your business and profitability. And I try to tell people that we're professional board members, if you will. We're not a CFO. We're not going to be in your business on a regular basis doing work for you, but we will be there to advise and meet with you a couple times a year, do some plan, help you manage the numbers and know and understand the numbers, and then hopefully help you become more profitable.
Oh,